there, guys. Welcome back to Let's Play Doki Doki Literature Club. Before I get into this, I do want to say it's interesting. I hadn't really looked that close before, but Sayuri is obviously a corrupted file, but she's a corrupted file that is now made up of, those aren't pixels, but blocks of the other characters, primarily Monica, but there definitely are elements of Yuri and Natsuki in there. I've been looking at it for a little bit. I don't actually think there are any Sayuri blocks in there. I think they're trying to say that the Sayuri character is completely corrupted, but I could be wrong. There might be one hiding away. But regardless, I just wanted to note that. Let's get back into it. We are on the day 2 after we have joined the literature club. Glad to see he didn't run away on us. Oh, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I'll keep my word. Well, I'm back to the literature club. I was last to come in. Everyone else is already hanging out. That's... Oh, that must be Sayuri's line. That was weird. What was the thing that flashed? I mean, obviously it was a glitch, but I'm not sure if it was Sayuri's face or not. Thanks for keeping your promise, Dameol. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive head first in the literature when you're not accustomed to it. Wow. Okay, no, they're just all glitching now. Because that was definitely not Sayuri's line. Oh, come on. Like, he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But you're not gonna seriously, you want to see the end of it. That's okay. I was about to say that's interesting that Monica doesn't glitch like the other two, but she's actually in front of the text. And yeah, the background music is distorted slightly as well. Not a whole lot, but it's noticeable. So has a big mouth for someone who keeps. Natsuki keeps a manga collection in the classroom. Move. So you find yourself stuck between saying Monica and I missed. Okay, just Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Dameol. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Guys, it's reading a poem. It's not like, you know, serving in a military or something. Thanks for coming and getting shot at for us. Maybe she's Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read? Interesting. This is before someone had to introduce it. I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in the club now, so I better be reading something. So it feels right for me to do something like that. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that. I want to try and be part of the club. See, if I don't read often, I'll be happy to pick a book if you wanted me to. Wow, yeah, this conversation is completely different. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. So interesting, even when you go for someone other than Yuri, it's still Yuri that gives you the book. So that's something that doesn't change. Since I went for Yuri the first time, I thought that might be part of hers as well, because it leads into her scene. I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it could keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. I'll definitely read this. Well, you can read it at your own pace. Look forward to hearing what you think. And everyone settled. I expected Monica to schedule some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around the closet. Yeah, Natsuki uttered an exasperated sigh as she sighed from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. Oh yeah, that's why you're approaching her. You looking for something in there? Wow. Part of me wonders how this scene would play if, you know, the game weren't glitchy. Like, is that part of the glitch, or is that how this actually works? Fucking Monica! She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone's just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. You read manga, right? Well, sometimes, yeah. It's one of the things where you can't admit you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What is that supposed to mean? There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull out the stack. Oh, there it is! She snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I mean, I can see that, yeah. Well, I know that feel. Closer look at the box she's admiring. Parfait Girls. It's a series I've never heard of in my life. Probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's just terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can go do it through a glass on that door. Yeah, I wasn't judging anything. Quit being so defensive. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice? God. But I'll tell you one thing, Dameol. Consider this a... Oh my god. Just stop that. This is a lesson straight from the literature club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, I'm going to show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hand. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire, striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. Okay, I do not know how to pronounce uwa. Like, what is that? I feel like he's about to break this one. Uwa, oopa-doo-way, uwa. She grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. Then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsill. She passed the ground next to her and signaled me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? Chairs wouldn't work at all. We can't read at the same time like that. I guess it is easier to be close together like this. Don't just say that! You make me feel weird about it. Okay, I am enjoying the interaction with her. Yuri is the very much like, oh, I'm super shy, I can't believe I'm doing this. Whereas she's the, I'm gonna punch you in the face if you acknowledge what's happening. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's particularly a bad thing. I opened the book. Only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space that, while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since you read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series? Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. I think it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Typical slice of life affair. I've like read 100 things like this. I kinda grew out of these, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. Okay, that is... She looks 1,000 times cuter in this picture than she does with her normal. Like, damn. Even if, again, she even looks younger in this, which makes it slightly more creepy. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not! Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I was getting excited when I convinced one of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? Well, that's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Aw, she either has no friends or no friends that read manga. I'm not sure which. Like, I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga's for kids. Can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch him in the face. Okay, that's a little bit funny since earlier I said that if you acknowledge what's happening, she's going to punch you in the face. Huh. I know those kinds of people. One second, guys. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitate to the other losers over time. It's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. Wow. That's quite the omission. Sorry, that's quite the admission. So, Natsuki has an abusive father. That's kind of her thing. At least it's safe here in the club room. I have to wonder if all of them are like that, where you'll find out about their condition much faster in the glitched game. Except, Manga's kind of a jerk about it. I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? And here I am reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems, though. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So? Gee, that's enough. I gotta keep reading or what? Yeah, don't worry. Time passes. It has a tendency to do that. Natsuki is strangely quiet now. I glance over at her. Looks like she's started to fall asleep. How do you fall asleep sitting down? Come on, Natsuki. Like... How... I'm sorry, I've been really tired of my life, and I would at least lay down on the floor. I don't think I've ever fallen asleep sitting, except maybe on an airplane. Hey, Natsuki. Yeah? Suddenly she collapses straight into me. That seemed arbitrary. Interesting. What is this representative of? I almost feel like a direct thing of affection is actually causing it to glitch because it's associating that with Sayori. Because I've never seen this before. I almost feel like Sayori is looking out through her deleted program at me, getting close to another girl. I don't know if that's actually what this is going for, but that's what I feel. Okay, I was wondering if it would actually show it. I'm a little bit upset that it won't let me see what this is. Like, I haven't seen this before. Don't take it away from me. Oh, jeez. Natsuki, are you okay? Here. Maka reaches out to her bag and pulls out some kind of protein bar. She looks in Natsuki's direction. Natsuki's eyes suddenly light up again. She snatches the bar from the floor immediately and tears off the wrapper. I told you not to get... Even finish her sentence before stuffing it into her mouth. Don't worry, Dameol. She's fine. She happens to... Again, I really want to know what that was. I have to actually wonder, does she also have, like, diabetes? And she has to get, like, energy supplements in order to keep her metabolism up? Which is her dad someone that sees that as weakness and, can't stand? It sees it as unseemly to be crippled or something? Is that what's going on? I almost wish I had known that that was going to happen to Sayuri and went back so I could experience all 3 stories purely. Because now, I mean, that's just begging, and it's extra frustrating because I don't know why it's different. So I always keep a snack in my bag for her. Anyway, why don't we all share poems now? Interesting skip came up. So Natsuki, I was interested in her poems yesterday. So only fair she share hers with mine first. Okay, well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Natsuki rereads my poem. No, I don't feel like giving you my opinion. What's the point in sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things. In fact, remember I said I wanted to read your poem? So I had in mind when writing this. I hope you feel comfortable enough to share yours. Like Monica said. Well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You're supposed to show me some dumb poem, make me go, ha, well that's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. Hope you're happy. So in other words, you liked it. So he's gonna cut. Okay. Again, I think I've said this before. Like, Yuri's my favorite character in the club at the moment, but I do enjoy the interaction with Natsuki more. You're so... You don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that you don't have to go announcing to the world like you're all self-important. Pretty sure you never actually said that, though. So you must really hate me or something. Can't figure out if it's a winner or a loss you like my poem. It's only to show me yours, right? Fine, I guess. Because Monica will make me if I don't. So again, I've read this before. And I'm trying to see if, knowing what I know about Natsuki, I feel like actually this is... it's still obviously about instinctual behavior and how humans don't have any. But before, I thought it was about people trying to become one with nature, trying to match an owl's ability, trying to match a cheetah's speed. But I actually think it's more about the fact that animals understand what they're supposed to be, and humans don't. All humans can do is try and find their way through the world. They don't have an instinctual behavior to fall back on, and so they don't actually understand what they're supposed to be doing. Humans have to figure it out, or in some cases make it up as they go along. I told you weren't gonna like it. Yeah, but I like it. Just be honest. I am honest. Why are you so convinced I wouldn't like it? Well, because... Okay, this one actually gives me the skip option. And what's interesting is people have told me don't press it because there's small nuances, or press it if it shows up the scene is exactly the same. So I don't know which one is true. Our high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. Isn't the point of people to express themselves? Yeah, I feel like this is the exact same. Because, like, here, it's different. It doesn't give me the skip option. Yuri stares at my poem. Minute past, moment time for her to finish reading it. Oh, sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine. You don't have to force yourself. I am not. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah, why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guessed that might be it after reading through it. So it's that bad. No. Did I just raise my voice? I'm sorry. She buries her face in her hands. Couldn't help but notice she's been several minutes we haven't really gotten anywhere. It took her a while to get used to talking to people. I really didn't notice. What were you saying? It's just that Their specific writing habits are usually typical of new writers. Okay, now Skip came back. So yeah. Again, I am trusted, because that's the thing. People said there were small changes, but people also said if skip is an option, it means the entire scene is repeated. Unfortunately, I did actually skip the poem, and I didn't mean to. So, whoops. That's one thing to remember, is that this will actually skip the poem. Well, it makes me happy you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things too. Yeah, maybe you're right. Because I'll have to keep trying. Because again, skip went away now because it's a different scene. So I do think they're right. The skip will only show up if it's the same. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, have you any suggestions for the club? Like new activities or things? But again, skip is gone, but this is the exact same dialogue. I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? Well, it's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I gotta. Don't worry, Dameol. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier we all learn to get past soon enough. Well, I suppose that's true. I like it, Dameol. It's a lot cuter than I expected. No, it's fine. Kinda makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer, too. So, take that as a compliment. Well, if you say so. If you're interested in Natsuki, then always keep a snack on you. She'll cling to you like a puppy. Natsuki's dad doesn't give her lunch money or leave her any food in the house, so she's in a fussy mood. Wow, what? He doesn't feed her at all, and he doesn't let her eat here? That's kind of terrible. Sometimes she loses all her strength and shuts down. Like earlier? It's just a guess, but I think she's so small because her malnutrition's interfering. Oh my god. That is horrible. Like, okay. This reminds me of when I accidentally was a complete jerk. One of my friends has a cat, the most adorable freaking cat in the goddamn world. Oh my god. And one of the problems is it had, like, aneurysm when it was a kitten. And because of that, its growth was stunted. And so it, like, its body didn't grow correctly, and so it's just like an eternal kitten. I mean, like, not completely, it did grow, it just didn't grow as much, and so it goes around and its body is like maybe 3 times the size of its head, instead of most cats where its body is probably like, you know, 8 times the size of its head. So it's just like, it's just this little tiny, and when I first saw it I was like, oh, that is adorable, and she explained what happened to me, and I was like, aw, I wish my cat had an aneurysm. And I didn't mean it seriously, but I was like, oh my god, I'm an asshole. Poor kitty. And that's kind of like, I mean, it's like we're sitting here talking about, oh, she's so cute and she's so little and I just want to squeeze her, and it's like, oh, it's because her dad's an asshole and she can't eat. Holy shit. But hey, some guys are into petite girls too, you know? Sorry. Just trying to look at the bright. Yeah, that's a little bit of a backhanded comment. I mean, I can't really say much because I said something really similar to the cat, but at least mine was to a cat that doesn't know any better. You want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. It doesn't mean I'll always feel that way, you know. Well, let's read it then. Is this the same poem? Hole in the Wall is the same title, but he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. This is definitely a different poem. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. Air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So before, the poem was kind of about a boy coming into the club and breaking the tranquility of the surroundings, because they realized that while they were super eager to share their experiences, that suddenly meant they were exposed. But here, my burned eyes can no longer see color. What is that a reference to? Is it a reference to the fact that Sayori no longer exists as part of the program, but her poems still do? Are her poems not part of her corrupted file? And so because of that, Sayori no longer exists, but she still exists in the her poems are still in existence for her. She still exists through her poetry, but her poetry has no color, so she exists only as a poem on a piece of paper. And whenever her poems are discarded, that's a little bit more of her that dies forever. I feel like that's what it's talking about, but I may be completely wrong. So, what do you think? It's very freeform. Yep, Skip came back. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. I'm not going to skip this way, but I'm going to go pretty quick. This kind of style's gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on timing between words. Performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Well, what was the inspiration behind this one? Yeah, she's not going to tell me that. It's too on the nose. Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. Guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. Did I say epiphany? I had some kind of epiphany. It's been influencing my poems a bit. Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's not kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other? Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. Try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. Yep, this is all exactly the same. Keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you just get a big dark puddle. So you just move your hand and go with the flow. And Skip went away. I do think, based on what I've seen, Skip only does indeed show up when the scene is exactly the same. So I think I should be okay to skip, except for the fact that, remember, the poem will be skipped, so we don't want it to. Ah, the music being wrong. It bothers me. Well, I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. I don't know why everyone was pretty nice to you this time. As if everyone's judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what ended up getting myself into. Professor Marco's writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. Oh, geez, this section. She's eyebrows fear and frustration, while Yuri smiles sadly. Did you... Okay, this is not skippable. Oh, it's nothing. I guess you could say it's fancy. Oh, thanks. Yours is cute. Did you completely miss the symbolism? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How could that be cute? I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come off nice at all. Well, I have this couple of suggestions. Those suggestions, I would ask someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Dameol did too. Based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing stuff. This is the exact same. I don't know why Skip is grayed out. I'm expected changing time soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Dameol liked my poem too, you know. He told me he was impressed by it. Again, I'm sorry. I'm like, this is the exact same. That's not what you're just... Maybe you're just jealous Dameol appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of... Okay, now it changed. No. If I was full of myself, I wouldn't deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I was the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Dameol started showing up. Okay, maybe it is the same. Natsuki, that's a little... To enter your own insecurities on others like that. You're really as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you want to be edgy, bitch? Okay, now it's different. Sorry, my lifestyle's too much for someone your mental age. Wow, they're way harsher to each other than they were before. This background noise is like legit driving me insane. Just saying that proves my point. Once people learn to get over themselves by the time they graduate middle school, you know. Stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. Think you can counterbalance your own toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard... It's interesting that Yuri is not staticking and Natsuki is. The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Okay, it's whoever's talking. Well, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad, you already do, don't you? You totally do, Yuri. You totally do. Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong in your head? Yeah, go on. Tell me everything you really think. Sure, I'll be all head over heels for you after this. Suddenly, Yuri turns toward me, so he just knows I was standing there. Dameol, she's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. Wow. Well, I'm going for Natsuki, so I guess I'll side with... Hi? Okay, this is weird. This is weird as hell. Hey, Dameol. Why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay? And with that bit of what the fuck is even going on, like, this feels exceedingly meta. I'm really curious what this is going on, because there's no way that she could just diffuse the situation and pull me away like that. So, something is happening. Especially when she just sort of showed up in front of the text box again. So, we'll find out what that something is next time. I'm super curious.